So yeah, tell me a little bit about Russia for Freedom. What is that? And what's your role?
Um, so I'm the head editor of journal. So basically, it's just for now it's just a community. We even cannot say that it's an organization because we are not officially registered for the moment, and so we are just existing as a expat community of Russians who live abroad, but they just cannot be indifferent to what happening in Russia. And so it all happened very spontaneously because I also had an internet friend, like a person who lives in Prague. And one day I just saw that they are making, this new symbol of Russia, this flag,
Hmm.
white, blue, and white flag, which is now even Wikipedia recognized it as a new flag of Free Russia anti-war movement.
You should explain that. What the flag means.
This flag initially, so like Russian flag has white, blue, and red color, as we know, as we probably seen. And so the idea of this new anti-war movement of Russia, flag, is that we just get rid of this red stripe because it's associated with blood
Hmm.
and death. So people thought that it can be kind of cool to get rid of all the traces of violence and to make this new anti-war movement associated with just like white, blue, and white colors, which is more peaceful. And also, I think there is also some another historical analogy because it already been used at some point of Russian history, but I am not quite sure
Yeah.
under which circumstances. Yeah, but so there is like some few ways, few theories on how it's appeared, but the main thing is with the blood. Yeah, that we just like get rid of the blood. And so people started to produce these flags all over the world, especially in Europe, because there are lots of Russian expats living in Europe. So people started just to use these flags at home, like in Prague and Berlin, and just walk down to the protest wearing these flags. And now, like when you see anti-war protests, there are lots of people who use Ukrainian flags to support Ukraine, and also some people who wear white, blue, and white flags, and that means Russian anti-war movement. So, like Russians who are against the regime and against the war. And so our community uses this flag as a logo as well, because this is the symbol that for the moment it unites all Russians who are against the government. But we are quite worried because Russia is already considering this new extremist, so they want to consider this flag as extremist symbol, and
Hmm.
they're already like doing that. And if it happens, every like repost from with usage of this flag can uh, can be some kind of reason to get person in prison, because like
Right.
people in Russia, they now imprisoned by the Instagram stories
Yeah.
and all the stuff. So yeah, we are kind of worried, but yeah,
Hmm.
so we just don't know, but it's like highly likely that they may say that it's an extremist symbol very soon. But for now, it's
Yeah.
still not.
Yeah. And you said you worked in Russia as a journalist for about 3 years, right?
Yeah,
How was that like?
I think it was like the point when I really like understood how Russian politics look like, and not only Russian politics, because I was I was covering Russia and also CIS countries, like post-Soviet countries, but mostly Russia, of course. And yeah, I just when you work as a political journalist, when you are really on this agenda and you're like lots of news every day, and when you do the politics by yourself, of course you get very like close into what is happening. And yeah, I mean, at that time I just realized how bad the situation is, I guess,
Yeah.
and how dysfunctional the system, how like it was just, I don't know, like I felt that Russian politics is just like very sad and funny theater, I don't know, and
Mm.
just everything like just falling apart. And of course I witnessed all the crackdown on the opposition, and it was happening like since the very beginning. I don't know, like I started when it was 2018, and
Mm.
already in 2021 all the opposition was either in jail or in somewhere in abroad. So
Mhm, mhm.
it's like yeah, I just witnessed how uh, accidentally Russia become just a place where there is no opposition, there is no freedom of speech, and there is nothing. Just I don't know, journalists detained on the protests, and yeah. So it's just, for me, I think it was the last point when like you, even as a journalist, you can be detained. It's just crazy, like how you
Mhm.
can detain journalists. It's not that should happen. So yeah, so I decided to like move to Germany when I was working as a journalist, because I kind of understood that I want to uh, like change my location, and that I don't really feel safe or
Mm.
comfortable in Russia, because also when you work for a foreign media, and you kind of like, you're not working in propaganda, so like you're already against, and
Right.
there is always like a reason why you can like be
Yeah.
end up with prison. And also I don't know, I just can, I think I couldn't be indifferent, because I already seen a lot and I already knew too much in order to just leave and don't pay any attention to what happening like many people do. They just like live their lives and they never read news, and they like those people who are just asking right now, like, did something happen? I
Mhm.
don't know, like why people immigrate, why what's happening, we don't know, we don't read the news. So like it was already too late for me to become this kind of person.
Mhm.
And I also, I cannot just like be quiet, so like say nothing on social media. And when you say something on social media, it's just you can sit and wait until like some riot policeman will knock on your door and say like, oh, funny post, now you're gonna be in prison. That's like my friend texted me just like yesterday that few nights in a row she has like horror dreams about riot policemen just
Mhm.
apartment at night. So that's what, so all the people who at least post something, like maybe some announcement of the rally,
Mhm.
maybe some posts that support Ukraine or something. So all of these posts like lead you to some encounter with Russian police who may like just send you to jail. And yeah, so it's
Yeah, yeah.
very frightening.
What's your
So yeah.
what's your opinion of the Russian police? Do you think they're sadistic? Do you think they're just regular people following orders? Do you think they just justify it, for essentially assaulting protesters or dissident voices? What's like your general idea of the Russian police?
Well, it's very nice question. I recently I saw it, like I was thinking about that because every person who lived in Russia a little bit traumatized because of the police and its like perception. And even now, like living in Germany, I realized that I have a real problem distrusting to police. I
Hmm.
mean, I'm just like scared. Like when I lived in Russia, when you live in Russia, you basically sometimes you're more afraid of police than criminals. I don't know, criminals can be not that frightening. There is this like movie by Balabanov, Alexei Balabanov, Russian filmmaker, and it's called Carga 200, and it's about policemen raping young Russian women
Hmm.
and kidnapping and raping. And I think we all kind of have this very negative image of police, and we cannot trust them because it's corrupt system, and police torturing people, they like kidnap people. So basically they are criminals, but they have more power, and they have some power over you. And like regular criminals, they don't have power over you, like institutional power.
Yeah.
They cannot like just kidnap you officially, like justifying it by some laws and shit, and police can do that. So
Hmm.
it's like for me was very very big topic. I even wrote my diploma paper on Russian police because I was studying sociology, and like the topic of police was very I don't know, very big for me all the time, because I never felt like, I think I never felt secure like in Russia, and never felt like safe. And also in the main reason is that when you cannot trust police, how you can like feel safe? Because like whatever happens, you can only rely on yourself, on your family, your friends, but not on some like
Right.
official help. So like, even now when I live in Germany, like once I had some very bad accident in my like dormitory, and so I had some aggression towards me, and I just ran. I kind of just like walked away to my friend's place, and I told her about what happened, and she told me like, you had to call the police. Like in these cases,
Mm.
you have to call the police. And I was like, what, really? I didn't even consider calling the police, because I don't have this like
Right.
idea in my mind that I can trust police to like help me. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
You were like, no,
And I
thank you.
told to yeah, police, no, no, no. And and I told to another like person from Russia for Freedom organization, actually. And she said that, yeah, I also live in Germany for 7 years, and I still afraid to call police. Like, I don't know, it's just like a big trauma for me. I cannot do that. And there's some psychological like affect by this police brutality we
Right.
are just experiencing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
That,
like
that's
when
a
you
that's a good indicator. When you distrust the police, it means a lot more than you think. It means that you distrust the institutions that give power to the police. So, I mean,
yeah
it's pretty wild. Um,
yeah true.
uh, so when you were a journalist, I mean, I went online and saw a few websites, and a lot of them are being blocked by the government. I mean, did you all rely a lot on VPNs and obfuscated servers and tools like that in order to kind of get around being blocked.
Mostly people in Russia, they already use VPN to
Yeah,
access Instagram or like some websites that are blocked by Roskomnadzor. It's like this organization in Russia which that responsible for decisions like what we're gonna block today, and they just block everything. Yeah, I think now Instagram already works bad in Russia, and you have to use it to access Instagram
yeah,
and YouTube. Some yeah.
yeah.
So it's like in Iran. Yeah. So uh, people are using internet with VPN, and that's what gonna happen to Russia as well. Just everyone will be using VPN for who
Hmm.
wants to use internet. Like yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting because uh, it's crazy because like if it weren't for tools like that, it'd be more 1984 Orwellian in terms of the kind of extension of power that the government would have. But the fact that people have access to VPNs, they could just bypass like all these controls on information. It's kind of
Yeah,
like an underrated fact because it, especially to some people that are into cybersecurity or that kind of thing, it's like, oh yeah, VPNs, yeah, they just think of it like, oh yeah, I know that, but it's such a
yeah,
powerful thing. Like it's literally allowing so many people to actually have access to information that isn't
yeah.
skewed by the government.
And also, Russia tries to block some of the VPN servers. That's also what they're trying to do, but I don't think that they kind of succeeded in
Yeah,
it
yeah,
so far.
and
And
that,
also, there are like just so many of them.
yeah, and not only that, but that's why I brought up. You can usually bypass that through obfuscated servers because using that, you can pretty much block that you're using a VPN. You can't tell if you're using a VPN or not. So
Yeah,
the
yeah,
firewall that would typically pick up the VPN would not pick it up anymore. And
yeah.
that must be pretty important for journalists over there, especially dissidents and people with opposing opinions and that kind of thing.
Yeah, but I mean, for like most of Russian free media, which is important to mention, already stopped broadcasting because, yeah, so they just like announcement that they stop broadcasting because Russia blocks them, and they like also as an organization cannot like put their journalists
Mm,
into danger of being imprisoned and stuff. So uh, like and today like some of them broadcasting from abroad, I guess, but those like magazines that were based in Russia, they had to shut down because otherwise, if they will keep posting something with VPN, they just end up being in prison. All
mm,
the editorial team, yeah. So like
yeah,
VPN, it's just a good way for people, for regular people, I guess, to use the social media they're used to, and yeah, to have an access to the global web. And yeah, but for journalists, if you're blocked by Roskomnadzor, if you continue doing what you're doing, you will have bad consequences.
right.
So yeah.
Um, do you ever worry that people who, you know, disagree with the regime, that they leave Russia and pretty much the people that are just in the routine of life, they're just trying to make a living and eat their food and live to the next day, like, do you think the people that are typically the ones that are protesting, do you think it's difficult for change to happen when some of them are leaving? Like, I think that I've seen it on the media call it brain drain, where yeah, a lot of,
Yeah,
yeah. Do you think it's a
like
problem?
like that all smart people like
Not just,
living
but
and
not just
all.
smart, not just smart
Yeah,
people, but people who don't agree. Like, the people who just have an opposing opinion, who are
yeah,
not willing to really like accept that. Oh, this is not normal. Like this is not cool.
Yeah, I think it's like a problem, but from the other side, some like lots of people who left Russia, like the opposition, they when they are abroad, they at least have a possibility to
Mm,
say something. So like from abroad, they keep broadcasting, they keep posting, and like sometimes it may be more effective because like we
right.
have few examples. We have like Alexei Navalny, Russian opposition leader, who is now in jail, as we know,
Mm-hmm.
because he came back to Russia. And we have, for example, Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, who is the leader of Belarus opposition,
Mm-hmm.
and she lives in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that she can at least like do something. She can meet with European leaders. She can like discuss the situation in Belarus. But when you in jail, you can do basically nothing. You can just like be in jail and like wait for someone to like free you from jail. So it's not that
Right.
effective right now to be in Russia, because you cannot. I think that revolution in now in Russia not really like highly possible right now, because we don't have any free media anymore. And for people to protest, you need some organization, you need some leaders, you need some opposition, you need some media broadcasting. And when you have no like all these components, it's just impossible. People just feel themselves really like lonely, like and frustrated. They have no like guiding, and people just like even scared to make a post of a story like an announcement of the protest. So that's why it's so hard to like get people to the streets, because they're very frightened, very scared, and there is no support by media. So for example, when it was revolution in Ukraine in 2014, Maidan, they had a free media, they had opposition leaders, and all these opposition leaders, they came out to make some speeches, and they like the media was like broadcasting all the time, they were reporting, and people, they all felt this support, and that was the motivation for them to get out. But imagine yourself in a country when there is no free media and only like media existing is just propaganda. So you basically live under the tyrannic militaristic regime, and like your every movement, like you can be just imprisoned. And yeah, it's not really making people more enthusiastic about going to protest, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think you may have like more freedom to do something for Russia from abroad right now,
Right.
because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you can at least speak up freely and not be like afraid to like jailed, because yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
you're far
Um,
away.
I I mean, I've recently like contacted some Russians, and some of them honestly are just um they're still going to school. They're still thinking about it in that sense. Like, okay, I just
Mm-hmm.
got I'm trying to just get this new job and finish my class, and they're kind of going around about their daily life still. Um,
Mm-hmm.
um, how do you convince people to be more um, enthusiastic to actually like protest, to actually get to that level where you're you're at, essentially, where you do
Mm,
want to fight back.
uh, I think like with people who are in Russia, it's super complicated because they don't get enough support. Like
Mm-hmm.
no one really supporting them in this, even if they have desire to protest. And I know many people who have this desire to protest, and under better circumstances, when there is like a media, like even how it was like in 2019 when there was this like giant protests in
Mm-hmm.
Moscow, and we all been there, and it was nice because it was covered by media. It was like there were many people, of course, like many people were also detained, but still there was this sense that we are, as a community, like our own sources of information we have, so very united. But now it's just, it's complicated because media plays a very big role in social like activity, and we cannot underestimate its influence. And when media is shut, I don't know, I don't think that like like there is a person in like European countries, like in US, who can imagine the situation like that all the free media just stop broadcasting. Like it's just impossible to imagine. And I was shocked when I was trying to get information about one of the protests, and I just realized that I don't know where to see this information, because all the media I was reading before, they stopped broadcasting, and I was like, okay, can I like see that, or like there is no way I can like read something or watch some videos because it's just not covered anymore. And yeah, that's super sad. I don't know how people can become more enthusiastic, but what I think is possible is, like, now the economical situation is becoming very, very bad, and there are some rumors that it may be even worse than in 1998. The year when I was born, it was the year of like crash of Russian national currency, and so it was year of default, and now people saying that we can have new default already in May, like it's gonna be fucked, like everything gonna be fucked. Russian economy will collapse, and maybe when people will have nothing to eat, because as my father told me, when I was born, he was working as a teacher in school, and his salary was like $2, and the sneakers costed like $25, and he has like two daughters and like a family. And how you can live, I think in these circumstances, what people can do, just like get out the street, like take some weapons or like kitchen knives, I don't know, just like some Molotov cocktails, because when you have nothing to eat, you I mean you can become just like angry, desperate, and like ready to kill, I don't know. So it's maybe that's the only reason how like something may happen, but I'm just really like afraid for everyone, like who may become a part of this kind of situation, when you're like desperate and hungry, and like when you live in a country when just like your currency have no sense, and like you've been working whole your life, make some spendings, like some savings, and like one day it all just like lose its relevance, so the money have no like value any longer. And I'm just worried for my parents also, because they've been working like from all their life, and I don't know what's going to happen to their like income. I don't know if I will be able to support them, because I don't know, it's kind of hard to make transactions like between Russia and Europe right now. So so it's kind of kind of sad what's happening.
Have you tried to convince your family to leave Russia?
No, it's like, I think it's impossible. And when we were talking, they said that I should maybe come back because they are worried for me. But I said that I don't want to come back. And but yeah, so my parents, they don't see situation as something like bad right now. And so they don't really believe in a catastrophe. So
when was the last time you gone to Russia?
It was December. Yeah, it was New Year's holidays. I was living in Germany only 3 months, and then
Mm.
I was back for winter holidays, and it was super cold, like -20. I was freezing, but I was with my friends and my family, and yeah. So I still, so I never thought that it can be like the last time I
Yeah.
visit Russia. But now I don't know when I gonna like come back, because it's like hard to do. And yeah, so, but I mean, I think I will miss Russia anyway. And like, people who live in immigration, I guess they can never get rid fully of this sense of nostalgia, even though even if you're like integrated very well
Mm-hmm.
in like society you live in, you still have some traces of this nostalgia, because of the language, like because of the people like you used to know, and some places, some city geography and stuff. So like, I really like Moscow. It's like super nice city. I just hope that one day I will come back to free Russia, and will spend some time in Moscow again. Yeah, because yeah, I mean, Russia has lots of good things, and yeah, unfortunately, we just ended up in being such a like terrible political situation. And yeah, like, we all feel kind of like desperately powerless to do anything, because I don't know, like, this power seems to be such a like monstrous demonic creature you cannot really do anything about. So because it's also, I think also the threatening things is that the government has quite big military potential, and
Mm-hmm.
you just know that, yeah, they will probably kill you. And also the stories about tortures in prisons, like the horrific stories, and like, um, there are lots of media reports on this, that like people are constantly tortured in Russian prison. So yeah, we are all just very, like, all the people, like all the Russian I talk to, they feel very powerless,
Mm-hmm.
and lots of them, they want to do something, but they just don't know what to do. Like, um, they can speak up against, they can like support Ukrainian people. They can like try, they also support Russian independent media who still like keep broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like, you just don't know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
and people just afraid to make any like radical political action, because like the possibility of you being like killed or in prison very high, and like risks
Mm-hmm.
are very high. And yeah, so it's like a suicidal act right now, basically, to go to the protest.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So do you think that sense of powerlessness is what drove you and your friends to make Russia for Freedom?
Yeah, for sure, because we didn't know how we can help, but we just, so like, I just messaged my internet friend from Prague, and he was already making some Russian
Mm-hmm.
flags of New Russia at his home, just like sewing these flags and going to protest. And I said like, let's do something together. And he said like, yeah, let's do something, let's create some like community some chat. So we created some like community chat. And uh, like, we actually just thought about this kind of community, where we can at least try to do something. So we have no idea what we can do, but like, we thought that it can be good thing to just unite it and to think of what like are our possible actions, maybe what can we do like all together to make the situation better. So yeah, we all really like really want to do something, but we all really don't know what to do. But we
Yeah.
we really want this. And for now, so like I'm in charge of magazines, so we gonna make some like articles, some personal stories about like how the regime like influenced life of people on a daily life basis, and yeah, so just we gonna make some personal stories, or also just some basic journalistic coverage and stuff, because also we just saw that there is basically no independent media, so we will try to broadcast because we have like a chance to do that, because we are not basically in Russia. And yeah, so we decided to give it a try. And yeah, so now we are kind of organization like
Yeah,
in
no.
New Russia.
Yeah, no. I think
Yeah.
go. I think that's a perfect start. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and also like for me, it's been very hard emotionally all this like period of war, and like for all people I knew, like all Russians having this large crisis of identity and
Yeah.
stuff.
I've seen that on
And
Instagram.
yeah, and like of course um yeah, like some people may say that we are just like I don't know, just we don't have our right to have this identity crisis,
Nah,
because
fuck
yeah
them.
but
You got
we
every
are
right.
yeah, like everyone has a right to identity crisis, especially Russian people, because like our government actually said like fuck off. Actually, it was what Putin said once. He called everyone who left Russia mosquitoes, who actually should be get out, should be like get out of Russia, because they're like mosquitoes and betrayers, and we don't really need them. So
Yeah.
like this is what our government told us, like get fucking off of Russia and we never want to see you again. So now we just don't have motherland. We are just this, I don't know, digital nomad, not nomads, traveling around, I don't know. And yeah, so at least we will need to have some community. And like we all want one day to be able to come back to Russia and to see this country changing for better, because we all have something to love there. We have our memories, we have our families, our friends, and this is fucking like huge country. And like people are just like living territory, and there are just all this KGB mindset, militaristic people left there. And I mean, they just like leading country to a collapse. They're destroying economy. They're just like making this place to be, it's like not secure, not like economically like very bad. So I think that yeah, we are just very like willing to see Russia changing for better, and we hope it's gonna happen. And yeah, maybe we cannot do like much, but at least we can do something. And I think this Russia for Freedom, it's also a way of like psychological help to each other, because we like we need this. We need to like meet each other, to connect, to like discuss what we can do. And like some actions usually also have help like to to get rid of all this, like, I don't know, anxiety and like frustrations sometimes. Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe it just feels like that to me, I guess.
So from the you were aware when there were the rumors of the invasion, right?
Like before the war,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember the rumors, and also I have a Ukrainian friend, and like just I remember before the war, like we were spending some time together, and every morning he was like checking. He said that every morning he's checking his phone, like to see if Russia invaded Ukraine or not. So
Yeah.
like some people were definitely expecting that, but for me, I wasn't believing that Russia will bomb Kiev. So I thought like maybe it will keep present somewhere in eastern Ukraine, where this like
Hmm.
territories like Lugansk, Donetsk, which are like a very so it's already like a conflict of years there. And but no one really thought about Russia going like further and making all this genocide and terror acts against the civil, like people, and killing kids. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like no one was expecting Russia making, like yesterday there was this terror attack on a railway station, and something like 52 people died, including 5 children. So yeah, it's like a terror act. And yeah, I wouldn't expect this like back to, I don't know, February. I I wasn't like maybe I was preventing myself from imagining that it's possible. And yeah, that's why I guess everyone feels so bad right now, because we all knew that something is completely like broken in this system, and we all knew that like Russia is not free country, that it's like all complicated, and yeah, that like Putin is kind of bad person. But
Yeah.
we never considered like this kind of scale of disaster. And yeah, so but disaster like ended to be very, very frightening. And it really reminds everyone on 20th century. And yeah, maybe it's not over, maybe we still living in 20th century. And yeah, that's kind of frightening, not like only to Russians, but the whole world, I guess, because like uh, I mean, wars been happening before Ukraine too, and it's not a new thing, yeah, even for
Hmm.
21st century. But yeah, I think like Europeans now way more concerned, because there is something very close happening to them. And yeah, at least it's like how it seems to be from the media. Yeah, because like people in Europe, I think, concerned as never before in these terms.
So from the rumors to the war to right now, what was your processing? How do you deal with it emotionally, like throughout all that length of
Uh,
time?
so I like wasn't believing like that Moscow will go that far. But
Hmm.
then I saw the news that Russia declared dependence of Donetsk and Luhansk Republic, East Ukraine, and it's already meant that okay, Russian army gonna be there. So, but yeah, when I saw the news that like they started to bomb like Kiev, Mariupol, I was just shocked. I don't know. I was like speechlessly shocked, and I I don't know. It just I was very, like, how I was dealing with that emotionally. I was just like posting all the time, and I was very like social media active. I was reading like news 24/7
Hmm.
because it was the only like way for me to cope with that, I guess, because like otherwise I would like be just sitting and like thinking about all that. And like, yeah, so I talked with my friends, I posted a lot, and yeah, we were kind of trying to understand what's happening, and was very hard. So like, yeah, but it was very strange feeling. And also I guess it all started to be like very bad after this Bucha tragedy, when also lots of civilians were like were murdered by Russian army. And yeah, just like all people who I know now having like very severe kind of depression, and they just don't know what to do, how to deal, how to live that like your government just like making genocide. And yes, like some of them still living like their normal life, some of them just like lying in a bed and cannot do like anything. Also lots of people already like lost their jobs and cannot find like new job, and just like having this desperate state. Like for me personally, I mean, I still like do all my tasks I have to do. So I now I have uni, like I have my work, I have also this like new Russia project. I don't know, I just also do my daily tasks, but this like activism part also became very important, and it kind of for now it helps me to balance, to stay like emotionally okay. And yeah, but I don't know how I would feel if I in Russia right now. I think it's gonna be like very different, not that safe.
So, do you have any final thoughts? Anything you want to say? Anything people should know about?
No, I don't know what to say more. I mean, the situation is kind of complicated, but Russian history, like, I don't know, it's never been easy, I guess, to live in Russia. um, yeah, I don't know. It's just, especially, I'm very like upset like on how my parents feel themselves, because they had a like default 20 years ago, and now they will have it again. And like all your life seem to be just like this sequence of like economical crashes, and those people are also survived through the collapse of the Soviet Union,
Yeah.
and now they again just witnessed such a terrific shit. So I don't know, they're just like very deeply traumatized. And yeah, I feel very like sorry for people who live under such circumstances. And it's very bad what Russia does to all, like, to all people in Ukraine, because it's right. But also what is very bad is what it does to their own citizens, because they live under like this country, do any good for people. And yeah, so I think it's bad that so many Russians still influenced by propaganda. And I just hope that something got changed in their minds. And like as younger generation, to talk to our parents about that. We try to like send some in other sources of information, like to try to convince them that it's not like okay, and that it's not like special operation to get rid of Nazis in Ukraine, but it's like an actual war and terror of civil population. Yeah, so I just hope that this propaganda machine will somehow end, that people will realize that there is no way for this regime to keep going, because like so many people against that, and we want to speak up, we want to like see free Russia, free on of all the totalitarian shit that is happening now. I don't want my country to like turn into North Korea, but yeah, it's all going that way, unfortunately. Yeah.
We should honestly keep in contact with the Russian for Freedom stuff. I mean, I think it'd be good because I think a lot of my audience, more or less non-political, it's a bunch of skateboarders, a bunch of artists. I mean, I think it'd be good for them. It'd be good for them to hear this kind of stuff, and it'd be
Yeah,
good.
sure.
Yeah, so it'd be good to keep a conversation going, and definitely, yeah. Anybody else that is involved with Russia for Freedom, I would love to talk to them and just kind of.
Yeah, I can contact you with Evgeny Shpakovsky. So, like, if I am the head editor of magazine, he's like considered to be a founder of our organization. He's a very nice person as
Yeah.
well. So, yeah, I can contact you with him, and yeah. So let's see how it's will be going with our organization, but yeah, now see that lots of Russians actually like support us, and like that we see that there is lots of attention and people really need that, so they are really willing to make some reposts to like,
Yeah.
and yeah, so we really want to we really want to do something.
Yeah, no,
But
that from what I've seen online, you're all striking a nerve at the right place, and I think you're really speaking to what a
yeah,
lot of people are feeling, especially Russian expats and Russians and all that. I really appreciate you doing
yeah.
this.
Yeah, and now actually like a meeting of New Russia.
Yeah,
So I'm slipping into the meeting
yeah,
or interviews. So
yeah, yeah. But yeah,
yeah, yeah. Thank you. I really adore journal. I think it's like very nice combination of like skateboarding, poetry, and now also some Russian politics. So it's all
it's a weird
like
one.
just a
It's a, it's
very
a, it's a weird
lovely,
one.
lovely mix. Yeah, but I like it. So I'm happy to be there. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
All
thank
right.
you. Maybe we can also interview you for Russia for Freedom
Hey,
one
please. That'd be awesome.
future. Maybe
That'd be
gonna
awesome.
have
We,
some.
we should we should we should make it as informal as possible too. Like let's just have some beers and just chat it up.
Yeah,
Like because I don't think I have anything that
we're
serious to
gonna
say.
actually we want to make some rave of New Russia soon in Prague. So yeah,
Oh, that's
it's
awesome.
gonna maybe make it even bigger. Maybe it's gonna be a new Burning Man, like
You should. You should
Russia for Freedom rave.
make a video, like record. It doesn't matter if you don't have
Yeah,
just use your phones. That'd be sick
yeah,
as
of
hell.
course. Sick as hell, yeah, right. We're gonna do that, of course. Yeah, we're gonna record, and yeah.
Yeah. Let me know when that's done. I'll post it on my thing too.
Yeah, we need like support from people like you. So yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, yeah.
I appreciate.
Anyways, thank you, Anastasia. Nice meeting you. And again, I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you. Bye. And
Bye.
have a nice day or night or evening. I don't know what time
Yeah,
you
you
have.
too. All right. Bye.
Yeah.